To start, let's talk about where the type 6 loyalist falls within the triad centers. Sixes are planted firmly in the head triad. In fact, they're the impinged type within the head triad, which just means that they're smack dab in the middle of the triad between types 5 and 7. Impinged types have the hardest time overcoming the blind spots of their respective triads. So all head types live in the future, and they struggle with a great deal of anxiety because they think and worry and anticipate threats to their security. Each head type deals with their anxiety differently. Fives run away from the dangers of the outside world by escaping into the comfort of their inner world, while sevens, on the other hand, escape the anxiety of their inner world by going out into the world seeking entertainment and stimulus. And lastly, sixes, since they're impinged, do both. They constantly swing between a sort of screw it, I'm going to take action and overcome these fears, and then they immediately become afraid that their actions have actually ruined their chance at a stable, secure life, and thus they retreat back into their mind. It's a vicious cycle for the six that just creates an endless wave of anxiety until they can learn to master the art of quieting the mind and finding security outside of their circumstances. All right, that's the triad centers. Now let's move on to the harmonic triad. The harmonic triad describes the three major coping mechanisms we have during times of crisis or even minor setbacks. The three groups within the harmonic triad are the reactive group, the competency group, and the positive outlook group. Sixes are in the reactive group with type 4 individualists and type 8 challengers. So when they experience a crisis, they tend to look around at their surroundings and primarily the people closest to them to see if they're either going to be supportive or if they're going to leave. As I said earlier, sixes are a bundle of contradictions, and during times of crisis, they expect both support and leadership and their own independence. They don't want to feel smothered, but they're also terrified of being abandoned. So reactive sixes tend to test those around them in a few ways. They can either push you away and run off in the hopes that you'll chase after them, or they can get up in your face and test your loyalty to see if you're too weak to handle them at their worst. Sixes feel that if you were in pain, they would eagerly find the best way to support or protect you. Needless to say, it can be a bit confusing to know what sixes actually want from you when they're hurting. Okay, that's the harmonic triad. Last up is the Hornevian triad. The Hornevian triad describes the general ways we behave in social situations. The three groups within the Hornevian triad are the assertive group, the withdrawn group, and the compliant group. Type 6 loyalists are in the compliant group with type 1 reformers and type 2 helpers. Sixes, however, are the most traditionally compliant of the three compliant types. They adhere to the rules of whoever is in charge because they're afraid of losing the group's acceptance and therefore losing their security. Hopefully you're seeing a theme at this point. They enjoy being inside the safety net of a large structure or broader community, and they will do whatever they have to do to ensure they don't get kicked out of it. Even if sixes look rebellious or non-compliant, they're usually rebellious with a group of other rebels so that they still have the support they want to fall back on. Any controversial behaviors usually stem from a feeling of confidence they have in their association with that other stronger organization. Okay, that's a wrap on the Enneagram triads. Time to move on to the last real section of this personality type overview, which is just a few practical exercises type 6 loyalists can use in their journey to self-awareness and personal growth.